Now let's get to what I think is going to be the most fun part, other than my motivational speech. By the way, did I just go full Matt Foley on Will Levis? I think I did. I'm sorry, Will. By the way, I met your Aunt Julie, I believe it was, or no, it wasn't Aunt Ginny. That would have been, I believe it was Aunt Julie in the lobby at the coffee shop. Really awesome lady. Will's aunt, her daughter is actually a sophomore at the University of Colorado. Will's got a great family. I hope he has a lot of success. I was rooting for him. It didn't work out, like I said, victim of the draft machine. And then all of a sudden I get on this show and I go all Matt Foley on him. You're living in a van. What do you want to be when you grow up? And blah, blah, blah. Now the best portion of the show. And I saved it to the end because I can't wait for this. Now that this draft is over, we can all agree, and you didn't want to say this prior to the draft because you don't want to take away from the draft, right? You want the draft to have as much juice as possible. And yet, here's the truth about the 2023 draft. We had players, and I think that the top 5 players in next year's draft would have all been the best player at their position in this draft. So I think that the top 5 selections in this draft probably would have gone in the first 6 or 7 picks in 2023. So here we go. I'm going to go 10-1. 10-1 to keep the suspense. All right, number 10. I'm going with the Washington quarterback, and quarterbacks are always a little overvalued, but that's all right. Michael Penix Jr. has played a lot of football, right? Had COVID year, transfer, and all the. If he stays healthy, he's going to have an outstanding year. I think Michael Penix Jr. can have some serious draft stock. If you actually watch his play, when he's in rhythm, man, it's very impressive. So Michael Penix Jr., I like him at 10. Number 9 from Florida State, Jared Verse, the edge defender. He's really good, athletic. Can dominate. I like him a lot. Number 8, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame, Joe Alt. By the way, there's going to be another offensive lineman on here, so a couple of offensive linemen. Alt's a really good player. Notre Dame's offensive line as a whole, I think, is going to be really the strength of their team next year. So I've got Joe Alt right there at number 8. Number 7 is a guy that I saw a lot of over the last couple of years, and I think is going to blossom into one of the most dominant players in college football, and that's JT Tuimoloau. Remember that great game he had against Penn State when he was just out of this world? I've got him at number 7 in my prospects for next year. At number 6, the Bama secondary, they get a representation with Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's a good player. I think he had 15 PBUs. Now, he's not heavy. I think he's only 185 pounds, something along those lines. But he's 6'1", good length. I like him a lot. All right, now we get into the top 5. Another tackle, this one from Penn State, top tackle, I think, in next year's draft, Olu Fashanu. He comes back to school, could have been in this draft. Now he goes back to school. He's a heck of a player. Now he's blocking for those 2 young backs that'll have one more year of experience. Watch out for them. Penn State's going to be very good. By the way, I think they'll probably start the season 5th in the country. That's probably where I would put them, 5th in the country. All right, number 4, and these top 4, great players. Great players. All of them would have been selected, and Fashanu, by the way, as well, would have been selected. He would have been the top tackle in this year's draft, I think. Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia. Dude is an absolute monster. Love Brock Bowers. He is basically a wide receiver in a tight end's body that can also play running back. He's outstanding. Hand him the ball, throwing him the ball. When he gets his hands on the ball after the catch, he's dynamic. As you can see, he's got great speed, great hands. He's outstanding. He would have been the top tight end in this draft. At number 3, I'm going Drake May, quarterback at North Carolina. Now, we saw him in that Holiday Bowl, and I was so impressed. He is, how do I say this? He's like a baby Josh Allen. He can grow into that. Great arm. This play that you're seeing on your screen right here, he steps up in the pocket, eyes on the left side, and then he comes back to the right side and just delivers an absolute dime. That was in the Holiday Bowl against Oregon. Great player, great makeup. I think he's going to be an outstanding pro, and he's a guy that I think would have gotten selected over any of the quarterbacks this year. All right, now we go into the top two. I've thought a lot about the top two. A lot. I know I'm going to catch heat for this because everyone's like, oh, this guy's a generational player. And maybe he is. Maybe he is. And you know what? He probably is. But I can't not put the guy at number one that I know is the best player in college football. So 2 is Caleb Williams, quarterback USC. Williams is the closest thing to Patrick Mahomes that we've seen since Patrick Mahomes. Williams is lethal. Normally I say for a quarterback like surgical, he's lethal. Excuse me. His athletic ability to throw on the run, confidence, all of it. Dude is as good as it gets. He would have been the top pick in the draft. He would have been the top quarterback in the draft. Caleb Williams should have won the Heisman. He did win the Heisman. It's hard to explain how good the guy is. But I couldn't do this list. The best player in the draft, the best player, okay? I don't have to value the prospect. So I don't have to value position. The best player next year is Marvin Harrison Jr. The dude is the best wide receiver that I've seen in college football since Randy Moss. He does everything well. He's like his dad in a baby Julio Jones body. He runs great routes. He catches it better than anybody. He's got outstanding body control. Look at that catch. If you're watching, by the way, we're on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube. The catch he made against Indiana. 1, I don't know how he didn't break his leg. 2, how did he come down in bounds? He jumps up. He's being contacted. It looks like he's being pulled out of bounds. He's going to touch with his left foot, and then he's like, no, that one's going to be out, so let me touch with my right foot. Going back, basically does the splits. It's insanity. The space he creates, his ability to win, to be physical. He's the best player in college football. He's the best player in college football. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is my number one prospect for next year because he's the best player. So there's the list. Penix Jr., Verse from Florida State, Alt from Notre Dame, Tuimoloau from Ohio State, McKinstry from Alabama, Fashanu from Penn State, Bowers from Georgia, May from North Carolina, Williams from USC, and Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. So there you go.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.